guys, Ken here, your thrifty apprentice, and welcome back to another thrifty review. In today's quick review, we are going to finally be looking at Castle Art's 24 Portrait Premium Wet and Dry Watercolor Pencil Set. I've already done an unboxing on this video. I'll be sure to link that video right up there. You just hit that card and it'll take you to it. You'll get to see us go through the unboxing, talk about the tin, read through a bunch of things about the pencils, just do a preliminary overview. So we're going to skip right over those things and jump right into doing the review. As you remember, it came in a really decent tin that latched pretty well, doesn't fall open. Had a lot of different information in it, including a swatch card that I was not crazy about at all. I think it was just made from like a regular piece of cardstock. Didn't swatch well. So I did swatch the pencils in a different location. We'll look at that in just a second. We can jump right onto the barrel itself now. I'm not sure if you guys remember, this is a curated set. It is made specifically for portrait artists. There are 120 pencils in this color range, and I did take a chance to look through them. They are included on the inside of the swatch, and all I could feel was Devil Wears Prada as I looked at all of these colors. Yeah, it was giving me a lot of Miranda. With that being said, I think it is a beautiful color range, and you can also get different products from Castle Arts, ranging from their drawing and sketching sets to their colored pencils, watercolor pencils, woodless watercolor pencils, watercolor paints, gouache paints, oil paints, acrylics. They have fabric paints, gels, sketchbooks, blocks, and pads. So it's an all-around art company, and they've been in business for a second here. They're pretty new to the scene, but they're not new. So barrel is hexagonal, you know, pretty standard barrel. Not a whole lot of whim to it. It's pretty comfortable to hold. I didn't experience any issues with that. The lid is moderately soft, so I didn't have to use a lot of pressure, but it's definitely not as soft as some other pencils, like say Caran d'Ache watercolor pencil. They're probably not as soft as even the Duran pencil, and that, as far as that matter goes. But it's a watercolor pencil, so you can expect some scratchiness regardless of. There was not a lot of debris or fallout from the pencil, and I do not remember it smudging much at all. You do have the color names on the barrel, and the barrel is domed with a color chip. I did find that the color chip was relatively close to the pencils once I had swatched them out and diluted them with water. So you can get a pretty general idea of the color from the color chip, which is a good thing because that's not standard. The pencil also has a color number on it, which gives it two forms of identification on one pencil. However, there was no light fast information included in the packaging, in any of the brochures, and from what I could find on the site, there was no light fast star ratings of any type. So that's something to take into consideration. It is a budget company, and at this particular point in time, with all the budget companies that are out there, with the way they're competing, I've stopped saying, well, it's a budget company, I don't expect them to put the light fast ratings, because many budget companies are doing that now. And considering the fact that although it's a budget company, these are, you know, not necessarily the cheapest set of budget watercolor pencils. I do believe including the light fast rating on it would be cool. Whether you believe what they include is a completely different story. I'm just saying to the fact, but let's stay focused. The pencils did sharpen really well. They held a really decent point, which lets me know that the lid was centered, because I was not able to tell that because of the dome. But from sharpening, the ones that I used, I can honestly say I think the lids are pretty on center, and I didn't have any issues with breakage with a really sharp lid. Now, if you press too hard, of course, any super sharp lid will break, but You know, they'll stay intact pretty well as long as you use moderate pressure and control yourself as the product actually wears down and the lead gets back to the point where you need to sharpen it again. All right, let's see. I think that's pretty much it about the physicalities of the pencils. Let's slide these to the side and we will take a look at the swatch sheet. So I swatched the pencils out and I diluted them with water in order to give me the first layer. I went back in with the mass tone of the pencil and swatched it on top of that because I wanted to see what the watered down layer would look like next to the dry layer. Keeping in mind, they do advertise that these are premium quality wet and dry pencil, which is another reason I was looking for smudging, which you do not get. You do not get any smudging. That is a wonderful thing, and that makes this pencil a twofer because you can actually use it in its watercolor form, and then instead of going back in with like a regular colored pencil, you can turn around and use the watercolor pencil again on top to add your body and your accent. And for me, that's a good thing because, as you guys know, I normally top all of my water-soluble artwork with colored pencils for accents. So this is great because a set like this is great. Let me say it like that. Now, the reason I kind of retracted this is great because we'll go back to the fact that this is a curated set and that it's made specifically for portrait artists. So or the opinions that I'm giving are based on the usability and the quality of the actual pencil itself. Now, when it comes down to the color range, for me, there was sort of a limitation because I'm more of a still life, flower, landscape, botanical type artist. I have not broken into doing portraits. So for me, in the type of artwork that I do, the pencil color range was pretty limited. However, they're pretty decent. They give you a really traditional feel with them. There's not a huge shift from wet to dry with the pencil. You kind of get what you get once you dilute it. The pencils brighten up and just brighten up really, really well when the water hits them. They disperse really easily, so the pigment is not going to be really hard to break down. Although I do suggest a golden Tecline brush, I did find at the times that I was using a softer brush, I still did not have an issue dissolving the pigment. So that was a great thing to note. The white wasn't as opaque as it should be. I mean, and that's typical, excuse me, with the white in a budget watercolor pencil set. The black was pretty decent and opaque. You could layer it up to get more darkness, but I did find myself wanting to go in with a Prismacolor pencil in order to give it a little bit more body, but it's not something that was necessarily mandatory, I'll be honest. I'll leave it up to portrait artists to judge whether or not this color range is suitable for portrait artists, but I will say the actual quality of the pencils was really good, and I was able to use them in mixed media form in order to find ways to incorporate them into the artwork that I do. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, why do you have a portrait set if you're saying all of this? Well, they were a gift, and because they were in my new art supplies, I wanted to give them the same run and the same testing that I do every other art supply that comes through the studio. And I'm actually glad I did. And let me show you why. So, World Watercolor Month came and hit us, and I was doing quite a bit of painting. I only got 22 paintings done, but in doing that, I did quite a few paintings with the pencils. I actually ended up doing 3 of them, if I'm not mistaken. So the first one that I did was this set of pears. I only used the pencils here. I did not use anything else with them. They worked well. I was able to pull off what I wanted to. It gave me the sketch that I wanted, you know. I didn't have any issues with the pencils dissolving down. I'm going back in and layering them in the dry form. They layered well. Now, this is a really economical, like, synthetic paper that I did these on, so I say synthetic, but cellulose, I'm sorry, paper that I did these on. So it wasn't the best quality paper, but they still work pretty well, and they got the general idea across. Next thing that I ended up doing with those pencils, I'm pretty sure that this is done, because this was actually done in the unboxing video, and I was drawing out some tangerines. And this sketch, I left sketchy, and I really love the feel of it. They worked well with, they played really well with another set of watercolor pencils here. So you can augment it if it just so happens that you had this set and you wanted to use it in landscaping and still life. You could augment it with another watercolor pencil set that you already have, because they play well with other products. I was able to leave the texture into the tangerines there. So this was a breeze. This is a really 15 to 20 minute painting, and it came out pretty decently. I think I didn't have an issue. There's another one in here that has, I want to say it's this one, which was Ganze Tamba in the pencils, if I'm not mistaken. It was Ganze Tamba in the pencils. So here I did a night scene. Again, this at 3 moons, because it was one of my whimsical landscape paintings. So yeah, listen, I don't have an issue with the pencils. I think they are some really nice pencils quality wise. I would personally like to try a set that works a little bit better with the type of things that I do. But if I was going to say, if I was asked, do I recommend Castle Art watercolor pencils? From what I can tell of the quality based on this set, keeping in mind that it is a budget company as I judge it, then I would say these are a really nice pencil, and I think they're pretty good. Now, I have a lot of watercolor pencils, so odds are I probably won't run out and buy a different set just to see how the colors may work in my particular area of painting, but I will continue to use these in different areas in order to mix in with other watercolor pencils and, you know, under sketchings for watercolor paintings, things like that. So they're definitely going to come in handy. I'm pretty sure I'll pull them out when I get ready to do some card making as well. Let me think, was there anything else I want to cover about the pencils? Oh yeah, we need to talk about the price. The pencils are $24.99, if I'm not mistaken, on Amazon. Now, Amazon has been the only place that I've seen them. I do not think that Jerry's carry them. You may be able to find them on Joann's.com. I'm going to link all of that in the video description just so you guys have that. $24.99, not too bad. I mean, you can find some pencils out there that are maybe a little bit more budget friendly. You're gonna get a lot of more product. For instance, $24.99, I would even say I would hold these up against like Arteza Woodless watercolor pencils. Like, that would be a good buy, considering the fact that that's all product, and you can take the remnants of the sharpenings and paint with those as well by just putting them in a palette and adding a little water to it. So I think that there are some other options out there. However, if you decided to get these, they are not a bad buy. Castle Art products. For the first one that I've ever used, I think this is a pretty good product. I'm a little impressed. I wish they'll, you know, they would kind of gauge the price on these watercolor pencils a little bit better. You know, maybe not $1 a pencil. That's a little steep for a budget pencil, but all in all, good set. Yes, I would recommend them if you decide you want to get them. But hey, if you got a set of watercolor pencils that work well, they are not necessary. All right, guys, hopefully you heard something or found something in this video informative, or just saw something that you like. If so, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. It's definitely going to help the channel out and help get it in front of more viewers. Go ahead and subscribe if you're new to the channel. hit that notification bell so you'll know when the new content is coming out. Guys, keep in mind, in the video description, you are going to get links for the Thrifty Apprentice sponsored Facebook group, Paints, Pencils, Pastels, and Markers, where we do all things, where all artists and crafters are welcome. Speaking of crafters, this Sunday coming up, excuse me, this Sunday coming up will be a crafting video release. I need to get some crafting videos out there for the crafters that follow me and let you guys know that I have not forgotten. And yes, I love it. So that's coming up this Sunday. Don't forget, there is a link for the most recommended products, and there is a link for the Esty shop in case you decide you want to support in that way. Thank you guys so very much. I will see you back here on Sunday. And remember, as I tell you at the end of every single video, just keep painting and crafting.